We're out at the workshop of Ray English, and he has just converted an OS 120 glow engine into a gasoline engine. So, was the conversion hard?
No, it wasn't too bad at all. I had to make a couple of rings and a magnet ring. One ring to hold the, if you look under here, this is where the pickup is.
Yeah.
And then the other ring, which is, got screws hold. The other ring's got the magnet in it. You can see the magnet.
Right.
I've timed it at 34 degrees. This is, the magnet moves around on the original hub. I had to slightly modify the other hub to put a ring on it. And then I used a 20cc Evolution carburetor. And it works very well, functions very nicely. Very, very easy to start. And we're just putting a different prop on it. It had a 16/8 master air screw, big heavy monster. So we're putting a Zinger 16/8 on it, and we'll see how that performs. So with no further ado, we'll give it some fuel and we'll see what it does. Idle and pretty decent transition.
Yeah.
I would say I'm pretty happy with that.
16.6 propeller, we're idling at about 1,500 RPM.
What sort of RPM did you get?
The top end was 9,000.
That's about where we want to be.
Yeah.
So this is the right prop. A 16.6 APC will work nicely.
16.6 propeller. Gives it 9,000 RPM at the top end.
I like the throttle transition.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. This right there.
Sounds good.
Oh yeah, I love it.
We just set up the EME35, brand new. We're going to see how it runs. See if it needs any tuning. Ray's in the process of converting a whole bunch of OS engines to gasoline. What do you think the power drop is from glow to gas?
25%.
25%?
Yeah, roughly. You'll probably notice it in here.
Really?
Well, probably as a glow engine, it probably ran around 9,000 with the 2 inches bigger pitch. So it'll be a little bit slower, but I mean, it's not going to be. I mean, it's not going to be so dramatic you can't fly it, kind of thing. But usually, I'd say around 25% is about the loss that I expect to see, which is, it's just the difference between methanol and gasoline.
Ray has all the facts and figures on model engines. He says that most of the stuff coming straight from factories other than OS needs to be tuned up. And that's a fact because I had 2 Evolutions that both needed tuning.
Yeah, they have a standard setting, but that's it. They don't test run them, which is still okay. I mean, it's not that hard to tune them up. They're basically okay to start, and that's all we really want to start with. Probably about 4 a week, 4 to 5 a week.
4 engine rebuild tuning a week, eh?
And it depends what they are. They can be anything from these guys, like those are all basically 2 strokes and things like that. A lot of ignition conversions on there. That's a starter and ignition conversion on a G45 Zenoa.
Oh, yeah.
And then I do a lot of what we got around here, this is my mainstay, what started my business. When I do stuff like this, this is a racing engine where I've actually cut the top off the cylinder and made a whole new cylinder head for it. And I raised the compression. This is what the cylinder head looks like. Still a lot of work. I raised the compression from 7.5 to 1 to 11.3. That engine, I almost double the horsepower.
Double the horsepower.
Yeah. And I also do these. I make carbon fiber tune pipes.
It's a 3-cylinder Sato.
The 90 requires a rod modification and an ignition modification. The 60 requires an intake modification and a carburetor modification, plus the ignition mod. The 19 needs the ignition mod. The 33 needs the ignition mod and the intake modification, and the same with the FG84 needs that. And then I'm also doing stuff like this. This is a gasoline conversion on a 160 OS.
OS 160.
I'm using the EMA carburetor. Evolution carburetor, and I do all the ignition rings and make all my own ignition stuff for it. And you
do a nice job. It looks good.
Thank you. Blow engine, Sato Twin, 270. I put ignition on it. So you can see here, this is converted to ignition with a ring and pickup. And then I put a Sato 160 carburetor with my special adapter, and it now runs on gasoline and runs beautifully.